Good afternoon to all of you. I'm very happy to participate in the National Conclave on Democratic Governance and Citizens' Rights. My greetings to all the special guests, chief guests, and all the speakers and the audience. My thanks to all of you. Certainly, Justice Hari Parandaman sir has touched upon how judicial system is tampered systematically and how it is being handled improperly. Dr. Barkla Prabhakar sir, how institutions are purposefully damaged and it is legitimated by the ruling government, killing the democracy by the democratic institution by itself. Political parties who are supposed to worry about that are not at all bothered, and it is the civil society who has to worry about it and take the agitation to the grassroots level. He has touched upon correctly, and Dr. Balakrishnan, IAS, former Deputy Election Commission of India, very happy to know that you only created a BLO and a BLA and you enforce the system, fortified the system, but the same BLO is being used to forge the votes. BLAs and BLOs are collided each other and they were using it for vote chori. You have created with a great purpose, you have created with a great vision, but how our political parties are misusing the system which has been created for the great purpose for their own benefit. And certainly Dr. Devasayam, IAS, who has been fighting continuously and also exposing the malpractices in the system as well as on the EVM. And he has also exposed how 7% of the vote has been manipulated in favor of BJP in Tamil Nadu. And also other speakers who spoke before me, Dr. Usha Ranganathan, Ramanathan, and Mrs. Anjali Bharadwaj has blasted both on the very aspect of the malpractices and the electoral integrity has been compromised. And certainly today we stand at a fascinating crossroads where technology, once viewed with suspicion in the realm of elections, is now being reimagined as a guardian of democratic integrity. For decades, we have seen how digital tools, data systems, and communication platforms have been misused to distort public opinion, spread misinformation, or even manipulate electoral outcomes. From deep fakes to data breaches, the abuse of technology has posed serious threat to the sanctity of the vote. Today's discussion centers on a paradox that defines our digital age. The very technology designed to uphold the democracy has at times been misused to undermine it. In the context of India's electoral system, the tension is especially pronounced very clearly here in this dais. We have seen how technology, particularly in electronic voting, can be abused to manipulate outcomes, eroding the public trust and raising serious questions about transparency. Allegations of tampering, defective VVPATs, and OBAC symbol loading process have fueled skepticism about whether the vote truly reflects the will of the people. In this lecture, I am going to explore how technology has been both a threat and a safeguard. how it was once used to hatch manipulation and how it is being misused, which led to the questioning of the sanctity of the vote itself. Here, I would like to remember one thing. Dr. Kalam, A.P.J. Abdul Kalam, he was vocal about EVM, electronic voting machines. He was very supportive of that. He felt India is a big democracy who uses the electronic voting system, and we are able to complete the process at first. At that time, I used to raise questions. Sir, this can be manipulated. He used to say, you are a funny guy, you always doubt. You always doubt. No, sir, any electronic system can be manipulated. See, electronic system can be manipulated, I understand. Technology is a double-edged sword, which can be used for a good purpose as well as a bad purpose. But if it is used with the checks and balances, then the technology is the best choice for any system to function. I have worked with missiles, I have worked with the satellites, I have worked with atomic energy, and we have created a fighter aircraft. I was a scientist working with the fighter aircraft design and development. Can you believe that you design a system which can function as a malpractice? Then how can a satellite will get into the orbit? How can a missile will get into the target? How can the atomic weapon system will explode in a right way? How can your fighter aircraft will fly? As a scientist, you have to believe that system should work with the checks and balances, and also you should think that we have a mid-course correction. A technology is being designed to do the mid-course correction if there is any deviation, so that the mission is accomplished and the target is exactly locked onto it. He was believing in technology. And I told him, sir, you are a scientist, you are believing like that. But do you think about our politicians? Oh, you see, in India is a democratic country. We have a constitution. We have a judicial system. We have a parliament. We have a judicial system. We have a bureaucratic system. And apart from that, we have a media. All are functioning independently. He believes that. So I told him, sir, you are in a utopian idea. How can you believe like that? See, election commission is selected by Prime Minister, opposition leader and Chief Justice of India. He believed like that, but it has been changed. He believed that it has been selected, election commissioner has been selected. Sir, there was a single election commissioner, T.N. Session. You know, the honesty of the T.N. Session. We worked together. How a bureaucrat have brought a complete reform in the election system. You should believe on the bureaucracy. You should believe on the judiciary. He used to tell me. The discussion came around when he was about to address the e-governance conference in IIT Delhi, that he wanted to propose a secured, non-tamperable, verifiable, digital voting system, not only for EVM. He wanted to propose an idea to IIT that you design such a system. Certainly, sir, I can design, I have designed such a system, and he addressed that. But I told him that if it is used by the right people, then it is a fantastic system. But if it is compromised, how can in India all these four pillars of democracy is there? How can they allow one fellow to get catch hold of all the power in its hand? Probably he did not know we have a great Modi. We have a great system who can change everything, who can rule everything. So he believed in the democracy, he believed in our constitution, he believed in our four pillars of democracy. So our Justice Hari Varanaman, our Dr. Paragala Prabhakar, our Balakrishnan, he is from judicial system, he is from bureaucratic system, he is from economist, and also from the civil society, and the madams, everywhere, everybody have clearly explained how the system had been properly tampered. Properly tampered, and there is nobody is to answer. In Lutyens, Delhi, I was a director of technology interface with the President of India, Dr. A.P.J. Abdul Kalam. There is a saying, "Aala chollu, roola cholra." Okay, you tell me the name of the person, I will tell you the rule. Okay, so it is happening here, right? ECI, somebody goes to court, immediately ECI changes the rule, and they say, no, we will not give you. If Rahul Gandhi addresses about the vote theory, he has not went to Rajendra Place and took a printout from the computer center there. He got the entire document from the election commission. From the document, he proved that how vote theory happened in a different ways. But election commission does not feel, they want affidavit to be filed. That means, if for everything, they have a way around to do the malpractice properly. So this is what happening. If you look at whether the EVMs are used in the developing countries, the developed countries, if you take a list of countries, German, paper ballot. Reason for avoiding EVM, Constitutional Court ruled EVMs lacked transparency, voters could not verify results independently. So Germany banned EVM and they followed the manual ballot paper. Netherlands, paper ballot. Concerns over hacking and lack of public trust. When there is a lack of public trust, they respect the public trust. Today, as a civil society, we have been raising voices in every forum, from the parliament to Supreme Court to streets and forums like this. There is no value for the public trust in India, where we celebrate the democracy. And France, security concerns and preference for manual counting. Uses manual counting to ensure transparency and prevent tampering. They also rejected EVM. United Kingdom, emphasis on transparency and auditability. Emphasis, auditability and public confidence. No national use of EVMs. Norway, trialed e-voting but discontinued due to security and trust issues. Ireland, scrapped EVMs after spending millions due to reliability concerns. USA, followed the digital system for all the process except voting. Ballot paper. So, Elon Musk clearly explained EVMs can be tampered. But our Elon Musks are not appreciated. Because our Elon Musk have found Pushpa Vimana. Okay. So they are higher than conscious, higher technology, savvy. Elon Musk are there in India. So they don't believe it. Okay. Why these countries paper ballots, prefer paper ballots? Transparency. Voters and observers can physically verify the vote. First, transparency. Second, auditability. Paper trials allow recounts and forensic audit. Security. EVMs are vulnerable to hacking and hatching, tampering, or software bugs. Public trust. Manual systems are seen as more trustworthy and less opaque. Legal challenges. In Germany, the Federal Constitutional Court ruled that electronic voting violated, the Federal Constitutional Court ruled that electronic voting violated democratic principles because the average citizen could not verify the process independently. The Federal Constitutional Court ruled India is one of the few large democracy that uses EVM nationwide, but even here concerns about tampering and transparency have led to the introduction of VVPAT. And after introducing VVPAT, they said only 5% counting is. After spending 18,000 crores on EVMs, VVPAT, having 17 lakh VVPATs procured, they don't want to use slips. What kind of a paradox it is? If you look at this kind of a thinking, even though EC is claiming that EVMs are unhackable and a standalone system, accepting all these fully or partly, myself and Professor Father George, he was the first student, PhD student of Dr. Kalam, and I am the second PhD student of Dr. Kalam. I am the last student of Dr. Kalam, PhD student of Dr. Kalam. And we both created a code, software code in C, and we have simulated the code and how, in what ways these EVMs can be manipulated and hatched. We have demonstrated in front of the press 2 years back in Chennai, and how this EVM can be hatched, not hacked, can be hatched. Once you hatch it, at an appropriate time, the hen will release the egg, correct? And an appropriate time, when you press the voting button, counting button, whatever the hatching algorithm is implemented, you will get the same result. You will get the desired result, not same result, desired result. Okay? How symbol loading system, symbol loading machine can be hacked, can be used to embed a hidden code. We have clearly explained, and how a VVPAT can be used to give a different picture in front of us and store a different result in the system. So I am a first computer science postgraduate in Tamil Nadu. When in 1986-88, first MSc Computer Science was introduced in Tamil Nadu. I am the first graduate in that batch. And Dr. George is the computer scientist. I know C code and C++ code. I have written. In my fighter aircraft design and development, I have implemented object-oriented design for computer simulation and for a cockpit simulation. I have implemented that system in the fighter aircraft design and development at Bangalore ADA, Bangalore. Professor George, he was the professor and did a PhD in computer science, who did a brain simulation to give a chip inside the brain and how to activate the neurons for the patients who are having some kind of a syndrome. So we both worked together and we have shown how this can be tampered. So many are talking about the problems of EVM. Some are giving video demonstration. You have seen number of video demonstration how it is being tampered. Some talk about hacking and others talk about tainted glass of VVPAT. If you look at the VVPAT, the glass is very tainted, because if you put a open transparent glass, the Election Commission would have involved crores of rupees, would have to spend crores of rupees. So they put a tainted glass so that you cannot see. If you look at the, like this, it will not be visible. What kind of a fantastic fellows they are having. And also printout. You have every laser printout available in every nook and corner. And they selected thermal printout. Done. So within 30 days, you go to a petrol bunk, they will give you a printout, right? After 2 days, how much you paid, it will not be available. It will not be visible at all. So they selected a thermal print. See what kind of a, after spending 18,000 crore, They are selecting thermal printers. They are selecting tinted glass for VVPAT display. And still others talk about positioning a VVPAT in relation to ballot unit and control unit. Some talks about you position the VVPAT in control unit should be placed here. Ballot unit should be placed here. VVPAT should be placed here. If you change it, see nothing. It is a nonsense that you keep any device anywhere, but system can work. Okay. This any hardware engineer or a software engineer can easily tell you how the system can work. But this appears to be unreasonable. On the defending side, they say standalone unit, non-hackable system, standalone unit, non-hackable system, EEPROM memory, and mock polling just before the poll in the presence of party agents, so it is tamper-proof. They say we are doing mock polling. We have clearly explained during the mock polling how the mock polling can be done, how the initial 200 votes can be polled, how after 200 votes you can change the system, how after 2 hours you can change the system, how at the symbol loading you can change the system, at the symbol loading time, how at the counting you will get the result. How many times? Okay. So if the machine is fraudulent, then why the Karnataka, West Bengal, Punjab, New Delhi, Tamil Nadu are all opposition parties are elected? That means when a thief, he will not go and steal everywhere in the house, in the compound. He will go and steal only in selected houses. Otherwise he will get caught, correct? He will get caught. So, however, all those could be absolute nonsense and void defense against solid fraud. Okay. So the technological doubts point, what is the source code and why don't they share it with others or an independent body or a JPC? This is a question. The second question, even if the source code is shown, how can everyone be sure that it is in the same code that is loaded in all machines in front of a independent committee? It is not available. Why is the reluctance of 100% counting VVPAT? Why is the reluctance of 100% counting of the VVPAT? Why EC is cheating the Supreme Court? 100% VVPAT counting leads to more number of days to announce the result where it is not so. So normally when you put a ballot paper, you have to fold twice or thrice, and then you have to put it in the ballot box. But in the VVPAT slip, it's a single slip. If you use a ballot box, they have to open the folded ballot paper and they have to keep it in a separate boxes. Then they have to count it. This is the process. This is a 3 or 4 way step. It will take time. For ballot paper counting, it will take time. But printed slip, single slip, you take the slip and put it in the box and then count it. This is much more faster than a manual ballot counting system. But they are telling the Supreme Court that if you count 100% slip, VVPAT slip, it will take days together, 3 days, 4 days, it will take to announce the result. But that also Supreme Court, innocent Supreme Court is believing that. They believe on ECI and they don't believe on common sense. So that is the problem. So how come thousands of EVMs are burnt into godowns where reportedly there is no electric connection? In Uttar Pradesh, Farkhabad, I think so, that Farkhabad, where a godown where EVM machines were kept inside the district election office, mysteriously caught fire. According to a district official, at least 800 machines were inside. Godown got fire in 2023. If the reports are right, how come the battery power how come the battery power on the EVM just after polling is low, say 70%. After 1 day full polling, 70% is taken. When it is taken for counting, it is high, say 95%. Nobody can touch, nobody can tamper, nobody can charge. Only solar God has to charge it. God might have charged the battery. If God help us to charge our mobile phones, we will be very happy. So it is not happening. But election commission, that is happening there. You have to believe. You have to believe that. So election commission has identified 6.5 lakh VVPAT machines as defective and has sent them to the manufacturers for repair. 6.5 lakh VVPAT has been found defective. Out of nearly around 17 lakh 40,000 VVPAT machines, 6.5 lakh machines were defective and they have sent. How come? So I have many questions but no time. So there are, if you look at, these series of incidents which have slowly eroded the public confidence in EVM and VVPATs. The election commission never responded to the questions made by Indian National Congress or intellects or the civil society to restore the public confidence by productively dispelling the questions which have been raised around VVPAT and EVMs. So if the physical units could not be handled properly, how can they protect the invisible code of EVM system? That is the question. So whether it is in the presence of some EC officials or not, who can technologically sound or not, how can the common man be sure that undesirable information or a pattern or a backdoor signal are also not loaded into the system? It is possible. So if you look at, the people used to say, if internet can be there, if a banking can be done by a software, if autopilot is possible in the aircraft by a software, and if the entire aircraft industry is run by a software, and the entire machine is run by a software, and so on, why not elections be computerized and EVM to be used? Okay. The problem with EVM is that if there is a mistake, it cannot be found out and verifiable immediately. Whereas in case of a banking software, if there is a mistake, you will not get up money. If there is an autopilot, if there is a mistake, the plane will crash. But if there is a mistake in EVM, the nation will crash after the result. Okay? We cannot identify whether the crash is there or not. So, but in case of EVM, this verification in the railway is impossible unless the source code and the deployment of the software algorithm are transferred to the independent audit. Come technical team during the process of manufacturing and writing into the chip. Also, enabling transparent symbol loading process without any hidden code in that. Enabling to verify the source code and algorithm of the symbol loading software before it is transferred to the EVM unit by the automated independent software trial by simply verifying application of symbol loading software. The symbol loading software, you load a symbol. 2 weeks before the election, one private company fellow will come who was authorized representative of ECI and Bell. They are authorized to load the software in front of election officials like Balakrishnan sir. They will load the symbol. What is it? They will load the symbol like you take Tamarai or you take hand symbol or a two-leaf symbol or a Udayasurian symbol. You take load. Everybody knows this is symbol, but nobody knows inside the symbol. Using steganography, you embed a pattern. You embed a pattern that this symbol has to be the winner. And with the margin, percentage margin, you give 5%, that means 5%. You vote 1000 EVM. every booth 1000 votes, right? 1000 or 1500 votes. Whatever the votes polled, 1500 votes polled, the hatched software which is already there in the EVM will go and look at all the symbols and get the votes counted, and finally it will look for a pattern. If any of the symbol has a pattern inside and the number inside, that means that symbol will automatically get that percentage of votes higher than all the other votes. This is possible and this can be done. And if you want, I have a complete source code. I brought it here, but I cannot have the time. I have brought it here, complete source code, which I can demonstrate anywhere. Even if you take it to the Supreme Court, we are ready to come and demonstrate how it can be. Okay. So, this 5%, once you lower the symbol, nobody, collector cannot understand, or election official cannot decipher. It is not visible. And the image will have a embedded pattern, and that pattern will also have this 5% have to be increased out of all the votes polled. That means the particular candidate will win. That is why our poll masters are telling we will win 400 seats. Our poll masters say we have 39% vote share. And 5% vote, you create a perception, do the survey and say that this alliance will win. And based on that survey, you create a perception and ask election official to do the SIR, not only in Bihar, all the states, before the election, and do the vote chori and create a perception after 5 p.m. After 5 p.m., thousands of voters only will come after that because they are busy with their work till full day, and after 5 p.m. they will assemble in queues. Totally in 2024 election, 4 crore 64 lakh people have voted after 5 p.m. Silent vote. After 5 p.m. 4 crore 64 lakh people have voted. And Form 17C, after spending 18,000 crore for electoral voting system, every electoral officer can update through the mobile 5 p.m. what is the total vote count. At 6 p.m. what is the total vote count. If they immediately enter the data, it is visible on the dashboard of the election commission. But they don't declare it. After 2 days, 3 days, 4%, 6%, 7%, 8%, 12%, 13% increased voter share. They declare it in front of us. Okay. Normally, whenever there is a introduction of a technology machine, the results will be declared fast. During my childhood days, when I started voting, the day in which I vote, next day I will wait for it. Third day the results will be announced. But today, after introducing electronic voting machine, okay, it takes phase 1, phase 2, phase 8. Then after announcement, okay, it takes months together to know the result. This is the greatest technology upbeat where India has seen a technology marvel. It is ridiculous that how this thing can be done. Anyway, I don't have time. I have in many ways in which I have explained in very detail how this can be tampered and how the step-by-step process in which this writing an algorithm into a chip, I have clearly explained in a step-by-step process. Anyway, which I will share my paper with our team. You can go through that. Any student who studying BE can easily tamper EVM. Okay? So there is no need of a big, this thing can be done. Let the election commission gives the EVM and the chip, we will write our own code and put it there and we will show you how this can be tampered or hashed. Okay? So dear friends, let me conclude with since the time is not there, let me conclude in the pursuit of truly transparent and accountable democracy. We must stand firm in our conviction. We say no to SIR, the opaque symbol loading process that undermines the trust. We say no to EVM symbol loading process. We say no to fraudulent election where technology is misused to manufacture outcomes rather than reflect the people's will. We say no to a biased and hand-picked election commission of India. We must serve the constitution, not political convenience or expediency. We reject the use of EVMs unless they are paired with 100% VVPAT verification, laser printed slips, deposited into a separate ballot box, and fully counted alongside the EVM results. You count VVPAT slip, at the same time you count EVM. If both matches, we will accept. Otherwise, no chance. Okay? Anything less compromises the integrity of the vote. And we demand postal ballots for migrant workers whose voices are too often excluded from the democratic process or misused by the conducting multiple phases of election to suit the ruler's objective, or change the outcome of the selected constituencies by migrant workers. Okay? So every citizen deserves the right to vote no matter where they work or live. But that opportunity should be given to participate when the elections are held in their original native states. The ballot box voting system should be given to the migrant workers. This is not just a technical demand, it is a moral one. Electoral integrity is the bedrock of democracy. Without it, we lose not just election, but the trust of the people. Let us reclaim the trust with the systems that are transparent, verifiable, inclusive. It is not the political party who will take the agitation to the grassroots. It is the lorry drivers who halted the entire road system and made the union government to bow down before the lorry drivers. It is the farmers who made the ruling government to bow down before the farmers and withdrawn the farmers' bill. It is the civil society. It is the people of this country. It is the youth of this nation. It is the youth of this nation, the so-called nation youths, to come to the streets democratically and halt the nation so that the Supreme Court can back up and take the Somuta case and dismiss the election commission, the present election commission, and reject the 2024 elections, all the elections conducted after that, and also conduct 100% VVPAT slip counting with the EVM. Otherwise, remove the EVM, bring the ballot system. Okay? Thank you.